So you were a co-founder of the festival and have done artistic director duties since it began. What is different about this international festival now and what you are doing this year that is new for 2025?
So this year, we finally got all the performances to be in one space.
Ah,
So the whole festival is going to be at Theater Wit. There's a bar at Theater Wit. There's Kubo in front of Theater Wit. I want all the community to gather, to talk in between shows, to talk after shows. I want this festival to be what we've always imagined, a place of community, and everyone feels welcome. That's my
ex-
goal.
excellent. So you are putting a spotlight on Midwest talent this year, and all of your programming is
Um,
equally affecting as to what physical theater is. But in your gathering of the shows, are there any notable performances that you feel can't be missed?
this festival, for the first time, we're doing something called the Being Made in Chicago, which is for many years since the first festival 12 years ago. We did scratch night, which is a night that's around six performers have 10 minutes of work, like an open mic for theater
Okay.
makers, to show what they've been working on, right? Or complete pieces, or just like excerpts of pieces. You had 10 minutes to stage something, to try it in front of an audience, to see the audience's response. So the audience has a big role in this night too. And it's a lovely night of community, of people taking risks, of people trying out stuff. For the first time this year in 2025, we started a program called Being Made in Chicago. So we emailed people that had done scratch night for the past 3 years and said, if you have something that you continued working into a larger piece, please submit. And now we're going to give two companies 45 minutes space to show what they've been working on towards a full-length piece. So that's like the big novelty of this year of 2025. The dream here is that we continue developing this program to give these companies rehearsal space throughout the year, right? Like a kind of a scaffolding to do the opposite from what we do with our out of town uh, program, right? Like we would like for people to create, to like somehow support the artists creating full length works of this type in Chicago, so that then they can like trampoline to perform in other festivals, go abroad, take it to international festivals, and and yeah, and be successful all over the world.
So what are some of the shows that you're excited about that people should see? I know everything is great, but is there anything in particular that you're excited about?
You're asking me to choose babies. Um, Between my babies, um, I'm super. So we have an unbelievable programming this year.
Good.
Last year, the festival was very successful. And, as a programmer, I was so excited. We had 90% of attendance throughout all performances, whole festival. And then it's the dread of the programmer is, how do I top this?
Yeah.
Right? And I think we have.
Okay. That's good
We've
enough.
topped it for this year. We're bringing this show called Rewind, which I think a cinema audience would love it because it's one of the most visually striking stories I've ever seen on stage.
Nice.
The actors do their own tech, so there's no overhead lights illuminating. They're illuminating each other. There's puppetry, there's projections. They tell the story in a very, it's called Rewind, so it's not chronological, from beginning to the end. They reverse it. And it's a feat of theater. It has a band on stage. It's striking, it's beautiful and striking, and it's a very deep and beautiful story also.
Awesome.
Um, I'm super excited about that play. The company is a group of theater makers from Colombia, Brazil, Iceland, and England.
Wow.
And the Guardian newspaper in England selected it as one of the top 10 theater performances in England in 2024.
Wow.
It is incredible, and I'm so excited to bring them here.
Awesome.
We also have a staple of physical theater that has performed all over the world for the past 13 years. And for the past 12 years, we've been trying to bring it to Chicago. It's called Un Pollo Rojo from Argentina. And it is a classic piece of physical theater that finally audiences in Chicago will be able to see. And then we have this amazing clown from Minneapolis that her and her, she has a wooden child's horse,
Mm-hmm.
and together they're gonna make you laugh so hard like you've never laughed before. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. And lastly, we have also this amazing American performer that lives in Scotland and does a whole show about a very interesting period in Nina Simone's life, where her fame was ascending and she lost her dad. So it was a complex time in her life. And Afia Campbell, her voice is incredible. So you'll have this amazing live performance of Nina Simone's songs at the same time as she's telling a very beautiful and deep story about the artist.
What are the key differences in physical theater that a new audience member should know to fully embrace and explore this art form at the festival?
You cannot close your eyes, right? In sometimes in the theater, in normal theater, you close your eyes and you can still get 80% of the story. With physical theater, it's a feast for the eyes too, right? Not to say people get scared and think there's not going to be any text. And I can guarantee there's text. The story is going to be super clear to you.
Mm-hmm.
It is just the visual aspect of the play is heightened, right? It's heightened. So if you close your eyes, you will miss at least 50% of the story or less. You have to be with eyes wide open on the edge of your seat participating. Another thing that it's unique of this type of theater is that it is that company created that work. So it's not a playwright that has passed on what he wants to say about the world to a group of people, that has a director that, you are hearing the story and watching the story that those people wanted to tell you, an audience, right now. So there's an immediacy to what is happening, right? Nobody's translating each other's work. They created the piece, they're on stage, and they're delivering how they wanted to you. And there's something very visceral about that.
Oh, you've thought about this. That was a really beautiful answer. Um, Final question.
Yes.
You've had many titles in theaters: director, producer, artistic director, festival coordinator. But what is most satisfying to you as an actor when you are performing or creating character, and how does that help with the other titles that I mentioned?
I think the performing part, to be in front of an audience and have that connection and contact to the material, right? Because you have to be connected to the material, to what you've created with that group of people, and to yourself also, right? The material has to resonate inside of you, and you've created hopefully something unique to you. And then you're delivering it to an audience. And those three things have to happen at the same time. And there's something very sensitive and magical about that act. And I think I'm better off at all my other hats by understanding that, right? Like that is what that feeling, and it's my first love with theater.
This is Patrick McDonald for HollywoodChicago.com. Copyright 2025.